Hello. We're back, and it is Deja with the Built to Brand podcast. I am super excited today because I have one of my good friends, Shaymah Ali, here with us to talk all things creator life, all things creator management. Guys, she is phenomenal. We've had some incredible conversations, and I was like, we should do this on camera. So here we are today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. We're going to jump right in.
Okay.
Because I've seen you in action. And for those of you who do not know, this woman has been behind the scenes. She is a powerhouse and the engine to some of your favorite creators. Tell us a little bit about your roster. Who do you support?
A few. Yeah. Some I can mention, some I can't.
Okay.
Most of you guys probably have seen me work behind the scenes with Jalisa Yvonne for the last couple of years. And I've worked with other creators over the last couple of years too, now nationwide, which has been super exciting. And yeah, I love what I do. I didn't think it would ever get here, which makes me like nerve-sided and kind of been interesting because I haven't really had like a mentor, and there wasn't somebody doing what I did when I first started.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to now be an influencer project manager is the title that I've made up for myself, which is hilarious.
She needs to be like the director of all the things. Like
it's basically like an influencer assistant, but times 10.
Yes.
And yeah, I love it. I love the BTS of that.
Okay.
/ also content creating now.
So I'm going to ask a loaded question because I already know the answer, but I'm like, let's try to take a stab at it. So I know no 2 days look alike.
No, thank God.
But give us an idea of what a typical day as a influencer, project manager, director extraordinaire, what does that look like for you?
Let's see. So typically it starts off with on an active day, which means that I'm on set, hypothetically, would mean that it starts off around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And that's because hair and makeup...
5:30 a.m. So what time do you wake up?
4:45.
Period. Okay. Keep going.
4:45, 5 o'clock, just depending on the day. And that's because client is typically in hair and makeup. And I just like to be in the room to just kind of know what's going on, do the run through. I've added videographer to my title. And so trying to capture that content, make sure hair and makeup know what's going on, what's the expectation for the day, just like be kind of like company morale and like hype man and just know what's going on, prep things because obviously because we're running a business, there's so many moving factors and now families are involved, right? And so just kind of considering all of those factors, like what time does everybody wake up? What can we accomplish while they're down? What products need to be shot? I'm rereading briefs because we work with multiple brands and as we try to kind of be as efficient as possible, I'm reading briefs for campaigns, but I'm also very aware of the organic content that we're trying to produce. And then also the conversations the audience is having. And so like, what do they need? How can we provide additional support and resources? What's something that's currently trending that we haven't talked about that we need to bring to the forefront and now? Because obviously we know trending items or viral moments are right now. Let's get it and let's go. And so there's that. There's phone calls. I am in Slack and Asana all day, every day, talking to all the various teams, agencies and brands and clients. And then I also manage 15 plus people.
Yes.
So staying in communications.
There is a team.
There's a team.
There is an engine.
There's multiple teams, right?
Wow.
And an engine that's fully fueled and ready to go. And we work in different time zones and things. And so I'm constantly on my phone, constantly trying to like upkeep with the trends and what's going on and other creators and conversations and what are agencies saying, right? Like talent agencies. What are the brands saying? Do we have a reshoot? Why do we not have a reshoot? Has this been signed? Is it approved? Where is the package? When does this need to go live? Posting and just like a slew of various things. And so typically hair and makeup is going on at 5:30. That happens, wraps up about 7. Just finalizing things, prepping things, laying things out because photographer will probably walk in about 8 o'clock and we shoot from an hour to 2 hours with photographer, possibly. And then we go right into filming organic content and we try to knock out actual photos and videos as much as possible so that the rest of the days can kind of be spent with either another shoot, right? Or we can do admin on those days. And so that kind of just like takes up the day. We break and then we keep going.
Yeah.
It's just like ongoing.
Okay. So I am literally sweating listening. Like, oh my gosh.
Same.
It's no small undertaking at all. And I mean, even if you haven't just heard what this woman said and fully grasp like the magnitude of your responsibilities on a day-to-day basis, right? How did you know that you were called to this type of work? Because I feel like you just don't. Let's be clear. I have seen Shaymah in action, and she is the most selfless human being I have ever met, and like most genuine, kind-hearted, but also like she is like. Are you like, do you come AI equipped? She can predict.
No, I wish.
She hears everything. She is like, I mean, it's a comprehensive experience, like not only being a friend of yours, a client of yours, but just watching how you interact with the world. So how did you know you were called to this work?
I don't necessarily think I was called to this specific role. I think that I know that I'm called to serve, right? I'm called to love, and I'm called to help in my best abilities. And so I knew that. I've known that from a very young age, that I want to be a helping hand. And I want to root for people, whether I get to be seen or not. Like in the back, I am cheering you on, and just let me know how I can support you in that. But I loved being hands-on. I think also I'm an oldest child, so like I just have solution-oriented mindset, and how do I predict things? I don't know if that's also just a trauma response, because I'm trying to anticipate foolery and chaos, but I am damage control, and I enjoy it, and I love anticipating various outcomes to certain things. And so I had a multitude of different jobs before this fell into my lap. I've been in the fashion industry. I've been an educator, right? Like I thought I was going to be in higher ed for my whole life. I've ran businesses and stores and different things. Like I've just been able to do a multitude of different things. And so when it came to this, I actually wanted to start off as a content creator. And when I met Jaleesa, I was like, I went to her meet and greet not knowing anything, but I like walked in the room and I was like, I'm just going to have a glass of champagne, meet one of my favorite creators, mind my business, and go home. Quite literally was the goal. And something came over me, and I was like, let me just go ask her if I can just shadow her. Like, let me just ask if I can just shadow and know what it's like to be a content creator. Because I had fallen in love with the content creator world and watching other women share their story authentically, right? And it wasn't influencer at the time. It was more like YouTuber or blogger.
Exactly.
And I just was like, oh, that's so cool that people are sharing their stories. And I still did not see myself like in these women, right? Like I saw portions of myself, right? And I was like, oh, she's Black. Oh, she's loves to color in coloring books, even though we're grown. Like all these little quirks about me, but I was like, there's not a me. And I'm African, and there at that time, like if you grew up in an African household, or you are a first generation human, there are 4 jobs that you can be in. It's like an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant. I think that's about it. And so content creator and like that space was like, are you okay? Like it was just a no. And so I just was like, I grew up Muslim, and I grew up in Africa, and I speak French, and I have very strict parents, and I'm quirky, and I love to travel the world, and like all these various aspects of me that I just didn't see represented. So I was like, maybe I should take a stab at it and share my story. I don't know. And I literally sounded like this at the time, very shy. And so I just was like, let me just ask this girl.
You were shy.
I still am very shy. I think when I'm in respective spaces, then I understand that I cannot be shy.
Okay.
I'm also 5'9" and wear heels. And so like, you see me before you hear my voice. So I can only hide for but so long. But yeah, I just was like, maybe she'll just let me kind of see the behind the scenes before I sign myself up for something. Also, because I'm a human that likes to ask questions, and I need A through Z, again, damage control. I need to know all the solutions, all the outcomes. And so she said yes. She said yes to me shadowing her for one day. It was supposed to be a cute, I'm going to come over. What do you need? I will help you do the things. And we're now almost at 8 years. So along that journey, I have discovered that I just love the behind the scenes. I love like creating a set, right? And knowing what brands want and building the bridge between the passion of both sides, right? Like a creator's passion behind their drive and their why, but also the brands. And how do we execute this so that we are telling a story that both of you would be proud of?
For sure.
And yeah, it's just evolved. And so
what did that look like when you guys kind of both sat together and said, we think this should be like a thing? Like, what was that moment? What was the kind of impetus for you coming on and really...
I think it just was like, okay, we did this on day one. Like, what else do you have? Like, what else is going on? How else can I be of service? Like, how else can I help? And it was truly like, okay, let me lay out the cards on the table. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. This is what I have capacity for. This is what the brands are asking. And again, over the last decade, this whole social media industry has grown and evolved so much.
So let me ask, because I think there is a big part of what you all do that looks so much fun. It looks all glam all the time, living life.
Yes.
But your role in the work that you do requires you to show up a certain way. I think it and I tell people this all the time. A lot of, and you said servant leadership, right? Like a lot of what you do requires you to be selfless.
Yeah.
What's your advice for someone who is like, I think I want to do this, or I know I want to do this?
You know you want to do it, go for it. Do it scared. I did it like sweating bullets, terrified, crying, screaming, throwing up, all the things. Do it scared. Step into it. You can always change your mind. And I think at this stage of life, people forget that, like, when you sign on to something, that doesn't mean it has to be forever. You can change your mind. You can tweak it. You can say, hold on, halt, let me like re-navigate this or whatever it may be. But I will say that, and I said this a couple years ago somewhere, I don't think people realize that when you have a heart of servitude and wanting to serve people, that you will not get a lot of the credit, right? You won't get a lot of the credit. Your work will not be seen as in like black and white, like she did this work. People don't know the heart, the work, the effort that goes into you, the teams that you work with. And so sometimes you clap for yourself. Sometimes the teams clap with you. And a lot of the stuff you do is behind the scenes. And you have to be okay with that. I'm okay with that. I've been okay with that. Like,
but let me tell you,
it's fine. But I think people, you also don't know when your next applause is coming. You don't know when your next recognition is coming. And if you're only doing it for an applause and recognition, I'm sorry.
It's probably not
your role. It's probably not your gift. It's probably not the space that you need to take. And, yes, everything looks fun and glamorous and as it should be, but it's authentic, it's real, and we love our jobs. We love what we do. And so I think part of it is signing yourself up for things that you enjoy doing, right? Because everybody doesn't get to be in the room. The late nights, everybody's not there. The early mornings, everybody's not there. The 18,000 phone
early
calls.
morning, I just want to be clear. She said 4:45 a.m. Okay, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning and I looked like a zombie for at least 2 hours. My brain was like, cannot compute.
Listen, I probably would have, shout out to Heatless Curls, okay? But no, I just think that there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it. But when you love your job and love what you do, I think it exudes, right? And it's like, I would do this. Y'all got to pay me, okay, to hire me. But I would do this for free. Like, I love what I do, right? And I think that that's been my like happy bubble. And so if you love serving and you love what you do, then you just do it. If you hate your job and hate the things that you do, that's probably not your role. Like, not trying to be mean, not trying to be harsh, but like find something you enjoy doing. You only live once. You got to love what you do. You got to love what you sign up for. And so for me, it's like, I know that I love what I do, but I also know that I bring an energy to a lot of spaces. I know that sometimes people hear my words before they get to hear my heart, right? And so it's like, how do I walk into this room and leave it better than I found it? How do I still show love and show grace and show happiness? When you work on teams, like that's the hardest part, I say all the time. When you work on teams of people, you never know what everybody's going through. And it's extremely hard to keep up with all of that. And so how can I be a light? How can I be supportive? How can I show, again, love and warmth and kindness and grace? Because we all have bad days, which is okay. But knowing that and being self-aware of that is super important. And when you work in spaces with creators, you have to understand this is their life, right? They are showcasing their most vulnerable sides, their exciting sides, the ups and the downs of everything. And so if you're on a team, like, how do I just protect that space? And the authenticity to how that works. And so that's something I've just kept going, and it's like super important. And I'm like, if this feels great, let's do it. If it does not feel great, shut it down. We're not doing that.
Period. Let's talk about in Shay's seen me operate in multiple capacities.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always say is moving at the speed of social. As we all know, social media is this platform that also feels kind of fleeting. Trends come, they go. How would you recommend a creator truly invest in themselves as far as having a strategic vision versus chasing trends?
I think that the strategic vision has to be with why you said yes. Why are you signing up to do the thing that it is? Number one, first and foremost, you are your own person. Nobody has your story. You are authentically, uniquely made just the way you are. So starting from that baseline and knowing like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Then if there's a trend that aligns with my story, I'll do it. If it does not align with my story or who I am, that's not my trend. And it's okay. And I think right now a lot of people are chasing virality, if that's a word. And it's like, you could go viral overnight and that be it. Could you handle the impact of going viral overnight? If it were to happen to you today, like if you're doing your thing and creating and you're creating for an audience of 5,000 people, you have a viral moment and tomorrow you wake up with 100,000 eyes on you.
Woo. Imagine.
What would that feel like?
Yeah.
Could you handle that?
Yeah.
What does that look like for your business? What does that look like for your sanity?
Yeah.
What does that look like for creation, right?
Yeah.
And if you sign up to be a creator, there's things that like it's ever flowing and ever changing and ever going. And there's a lot of evergreen things that need to happen. And so how do you uphold that, right? Because when you sign on to be a creator, some people are like, I'm in this for the long haul. Some people are like a couple years. But when you're posting at the rate of every day, every other day, 3 or 4 times a day, how do you upkeep that?
Upkeep it.
Without it being authentically you.
Exactly.
Because you can't live a double life for but so long.
This is why Shaymah is here, because I knew this would be gold.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, scenario.
Okay.
You wake up tomorrow and you have 500,000 followers because you went viral overnight. I've asked you this question before, so I'm going to ask you in front of the camera now.
Okay.
Who is your... And let's say you got a big brand deal, right? Because just because you wake up with 500,000 followers tomorrow doesn't mean you have money in the bank.
No, absolutely not.
So let's talk about you get a big brand deal after you go viral.
Yes.
Who is your first key hire?
My first key hire
for
after
your
I
team.
go.
Who are you bringing on to your team? Yeah.
Oh, a personal assistant. Personal assistant.
And what is their key functions? What should they be doing?
You are acting as me when I can't show up.
Everything. You're doing everything.
You're doing everything. Probably a lawyer as well, because what just happened, security, a lot of things has happened, a lot of hires, but that's probably because I'm on this side of things and I've instructed a lot of creators to hire a lot of people. Yes. But personal assistant off bat, just because you need a second brain. There's so much happening, right? And I think a lot of creators need to remember, like, hiring help does not make you less than. Having help does not make you less than. In fact, it amplifies your brand. It amplifies your team. It allows you to breathe and exhale and also have a different lens at life. Because I think when you are so gun-ho about a vision and you love what you do, you only see one thing, and that's like forward typically. And so being able to be like, I need a second set of eyes. Did I spell this right? Did I come off okay? Did I sound appropriate? Does this still align with our brand? What is going on? How do I be in 2 places at once? And so, I think a personal assistant is off rip. I need another person.
We love it. We love it. Okay, so Shaymah, for those of you who do not know, is also a creator herself. So somewhere in between managing all the things, she also has amassed a beautiful community.
I'm obsessed with you guys. Love you guys.
Listen, just stunning. So I made a joke about the talls and the smalls before we started, because
I'm a tall girl.
She's a tall girl. I'm a tall girl. We love it here. We can't find jeans all the time, but that's another conversation for another day.
Just mention my jeans. Listen, a whole nother conversation.
We can do a whole podcast about being a tall girl.
Truly.
So tell us a little bit more about your journey into being a creator. And you talked a little bit about it, right? Yeah. So you didn't necessarily see yourself initially and realize that there was a space for women who kind of had your same upbringing and
had a colorful background.
Right? So what did that journey look like for you?
I think after So I was obviously directly supposed to go into content creation after my 1-day internship. And along the way, I remember Jaleesa stopping me and being like, don't think I forgot that the whole reason we're even doing this is because you wanted to be a content creator.
Listen, having a friend
who calls you out is like unmatched.
And let's not forget the fact that she also helps.
Yeah.
Like
unmatched.
We've seen her be like,
she helps. She calls me out. She helps. We do life together, and a lot of people are shocked about how we operate. It's happened seamlessly, guys. I don't know what to tell you at this point anymore. But she's called me out on it and was like, don't forget you said this thing. Don't forget that you know what God's told you, right? And like that's something that's super important to me. And so one day I was like, okay, I guess I gotta book my first shoot, and okay, I gotta hop on and be like, hi, party people, what's going on? And so it's really just been like they've seen everything from this is the BTS of what I do at work, or oh my gosh, I have a crazy family and I'm the oldest sibling, and they come into my house and I host a summer camp for my family, and all 17 of us are in my 1-bedroom apartment having the time of our lives. Or I found this new lip product. I found heatless curls. Or like, guys, where do we find tall jeans for the girls? And so I think I have a beautiful community of people who have gotten to see me in dual roles. And I think that's what I've been calling my superpower, is that I get to be the girl that I'm obsessed with my freckles and my hair in a bonnet and like living my best life. But I also love a full glam, right? And I think parallel worlds, and knowing that like I still don't know who I want to be when I grow up, and I'm navigating it every single day, and you can too, is what my community is made up of. They've seen me do it, we're doing it together, and it's like it's the best thing ever.
Tell me about some brands that you would absolutely love to work with.
There's a few. Dunkin' is really fun to work with.
Ooh,
I love a good coffee and a donut.
Okay,
they're good.
Have you worked with Dunkin'?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I worked with Dunkin'. They're fun to work with.
Okay, so brands you've worked with, that you loved,
and
then brands that you haven't
that I love,
that you love, and you want to work with. Yeah.
L'Occitane, look at me.
Yeah.
Me and you in the shower are having a great time right now. I love you. Have not worked with them. Would love to work with them. Kitsch, I believe they have like a silk hairline situation. They got hair clips, pillowcases, bonnets, towels. The heatless rods that I use, they're so fun. I'm wearing Levi's. Would love to work with them. These are men's denim. Hello.
Love it.
Would love to work with them. In the past, I have worked with the brands that are currently under fire. Listen, I had a good time working with them when I worked with them. It was great. Okay. The partnership was great. Beautiful worlds blended.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else? I would love to work with some alcohol brands.
Okay.
A few. I'm a cocktail girly.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We had a little drink.
The
mugs are not for what you think they're for. The mugs
are for a good time.
A good time.
I'm a cocktail girly, so I think doing that, like I love making drinks, shaken, not stirred. There's a ton of brands that it's so hard. I think as a creator, that's the other part. It's like somebody puts you on the spot like that and asks you, and you're like, I use so many brands day in and day out. So you don't realize it.
Fair. Yeah.
Right? Like from beauty to clothing to hair to the way I sleep to what I eat, and it's like these are my staples. Like I want everybody to try this exercise. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, write down every single brand you touch or use.
Oh. Okay.
You put on, you use. Think about like from your car to your hand sanitizer to how you brushed your hair this morning.
Yeah.
What shower products did you use?
Wow.
What clothing items did you wear?
Yeah.
Like there's so many brands that are tried and true that I love.
But I think the world of a creator is so different, right?
Yeah.
Because you are, for those of you who may not be in this space but are curious, right? Like you can receive PR packages at scale, depending on, who you are, where you are.
The PR.
And so the PR, which is a whole probably conversation in itself as well. But let's talk a little bit about like how you have to quickly deduce, right? This is for me.
Yep.
And this is probably not at a rate that most people don't.
Yeah.
So like how do you know, like, this is my thing, this is my jam?
I think that, again, especially as a creator, you have to understand your niche and what it is you're setting out to do. And for me, it's like, I am a glam girly, yes, but I do my own makeup. And so like what products do I feel like right now confidently I can, if I'm gifted, I can use, and it's like not a question mark. I'm not confused. It's easy. It's already here. I don't have to shade match and do the whole thing. Like, I'm your everyday next door girly. So like, that's usually how I'm like, okay, yes, I can use this. Shades, right? Shaymah, be for real. If it's too pale, I'm not going to use it. I do have some lovely pale friends, and I know to put them in a box. And my favorite
did she just
things.
point at me? Did
No,
she call me
I
pale?
was saying.
I think she called me pale. It's
I
cool,
did not
y'all.
call her
I'm
pale.
just kidding.
I have some paler friends. I have some darker skin tone friends. I have some friends who I know, like, maybe you suffer from rosacea or you have dry skin. I have eczema. Like, knowing who I am, I can quickly go through products and be like, yes, I can use this. Knowing what products I may be allergic to, I can't use you. Like, and so I still love that I receive PR so that I can let my audience know, like, hey, if you're obsessed with Murad, they have a whole line for you. That does not necessarily mean that I am using it. I'm not necessarily always, I'm very, very careful with my words when it comes to brands because I'm not going to sell you on something that I'm not passionate about and I'm not using. Can't say for everybody. But if I'm passionate and I'm sharing with you, I've used it multiple times before you found out about it. And so, yeah, I think it's just a matter of like, what am I called to? What do I like sharing already authentically and organically? And then I filter it that way. And then there's also another pile of like, if you have time to play. This exists.
More and more, I am seeing what I absolutely adore about the creator space, but also just women of color in general. We are cheering and rooting for each other loudly. We are saying we're tired at the same time. We're saying we're excited at the same time. And it's really beautiful to see that in the creator space too. Are there any creators who you're like, oh, I love her platform?
Wow, there's so many.
And like,
there's so many.
I can only imagine.
Oh.
If you're like, somebody has done something that's super dope that I feel like
I can't. There's so many.
Okay.
I mean, I'll list off as many as I can. If I leave you off, I'll post you in my story or on Instagram.
We're going to do a list.
I will do a list or send
of girl, you doing the thing.
The Our Bodega team a whole list and handles of creators that I am wildly obsessed with. But the best way I can explain the women of color space, especially in the industry right now, and I recently felt it because I went to New York Fashion Week, right?
Yes.
You walk into the room and it's like all of your virtual coworkers are at a company party. That's what it feels like, right? And you're just like, I love your fashion sense from like any Pola, Janae Naylor, Nas does a great work. Taylor Lloyd is in the like tech space and she does beautiful work. Fola does amazing hair stuff. Life of Tanya Marie, she's done amazing things with her family and her beauty. Oh my gosh. I said any. Obviously you guys, Jaleesa does great work. Nas, Taylor, Raven Elise does amazing in the way that she has transformed her brand. I think it's now like DIY queen is what she has going on, and it's quite literally phenomenal.
Impressive. Yes.
I hope I'm not saying her name wrong. Uchi, she does makeup, and I think she's based in the UK. Aaliyah's face. Gosh. Jackie Aina.
OGs.
Is an OG. Guys, there's so many.
So many.
But
I think the underlying sentiment here is like the community and how I've seen just people interact with each other. It feels very authentic. It feels very much so like we understand.
Oh my God. There's like.
Oh yeah. They're so fly.
There's Emmy Petite. I'm saying that wrong. Emmy Petite, sorry. The Yusufs. But like, it's endless.
It's endless.
It's officially endless and still more.
I mean, think about where we are as a country and a world. And I think to have that is, I don't know if these women even realize, like, you're a North Star.
No.
For so many of us who are just like, I need just consistency.
Yeah.
I need to know that, you know, someone sees me, understands me. I can see myself in this crazy world that we live in. And so I don't know these women personally. Every time I'm like, Shay, you met this person?
Yes.
That's awesome.
They're
it's so cool to see.
I think it finally feels comforting to know that, yes, the creator space is growing. Yes, more women of color are signing themselves up to share their stories and their lives. But like, it finally feels like there is somebody out there for you.
Yes.
If not more than one.
At
least there's more than one, finally.
Yes.
And that feels so good, comforting, warming. And everybody has been so, like, good. Just so good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love that.
They're amazing women. I will share. I feel so bad that I'm not listing off a bunch of people, but I will find a way.
We talked about Crystal the other day.
Crystal. Yeah.
Yes. Like, I mean, it's...
Crystal Heredia stuff is like, she's phenomenal.
And I feel like everyone...
Kim Felice. Like, I could
seems so real as far as just like, this is where I'm at today.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was like that know, before. Now it's definitely...
Yeah, people are changed. Like, here I am, take me as I am, or you don't, and you take your pick. And I think that's perfect.
We love this. Yeah. Okay. So I ask this question all the time.
Okay.
Tell me about your favorite no.
My favorite no?
That has been transformative for you. So and when I say this, think about... For me, all the time, it was I was supposed to be moving to LA before I was called for a job here. The job that I was going to take in LA fell through, and I was like, Texas? What's in Texas? And here we are 10 years later. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, 10 years later, and my life is absolutely stunning. So I think there's...
My favorite no.
Yeah, what's your favorite no?
My favorite no is I dropped out of my PhD program.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my favorite no.
Doctor.
I was going to be Dr. Ali. I might go back later in life and finish it off. But I think at the time, and again, I'm super passionate about education. And I think it was because like I am a first generation student, but I had grown up in Africa and moved to the US later in life. And that transition was hard. And I think I wasn't honest about how hard it was when I was younger. And when I finally got to the collegiate level, I was like, wow, how much of an impact can I make in the education system for students who are going to be first gen? Yeah. Because the conversations you're having in your house are very different than you would be having on campus. And the job fields are different. And your parents grew up in a different generation in a different time. And life is changing and ever evolved. Like just, so that transaction, I was so passionate about. And also, the education system. I am not a girly who loves taking a test. Now, my GPA was great. I'm African. It had to be. Okay? But big picture, I was stressed and sweating. And so I was super passionate about how do we redefine education? And like every child does not fit in this box that the education system has made. And so, yeah, my passion was going to be like, how do I break barriers? How do we redefine the education system? How do we ask a child, what do you love to do? And what is the best way for you to express whatever it is that you learned today? And what things bring you joy in your learning journey, right? Because I love presentations. I love working with my hands. If you would have told me to make this presentation and this poster board versus taking this test, I aced the test again because I had to. Yes. But I would have aced this and loved it and been just as passionate. And I would have been able to share this story way better. Yeah. And that has impact too. Yeah. And that is redefining too. Absolutely. And so I wanted to do all those things basically and redefine higher ed in that capacity and that magnitude. And that's what my dissertation would have been about. And when it came time to, I realized that like, I was tired of living in Lubbock. I went to Texas Tech University, Reckham. I was tired of living in Lubbock and I was like, can I just do my classes virtually? Like when you sign on to do a PhD, I do, in fact, obviously love education. Yes. I do love studying. I feel like your bachelor's is typically for your family. Somebody said you had to go to college. Your master's, you're like, I just need to tweak some. Yes. Your PhD is all you, babe. Yeah. Like, you signed on for this. Absolutely. You're a glutton for punishment, as I like to say. I no longer want to live here. I'm not thriving as an individual in the city anymore. I want to move. Yeah. But can I continue my courses online? Yeah. I know how to study at this point. Yeah. Like, and they said no. They were like, if you want to finish off your program, you're going to have to stay here. Yeah. And I had to have a very hard conversation with myself. Like, was I so tied to the fact that I wanted to close out my life being a doctor, right? At that moment, that's all I cared about. Yeah. With my doctorate. Or am I taking a pause and standing on business? Because if you're telling me, no, I cannot redefine my educational journey at this stage of life, you're going against why I even want this doctorate. Yeah. And you're trying to fit me into the box that I'm telling you that I don't want to subject myself to, nor other students who could thrive in this capacity. And yeah, I fought hard. I am very proud of myself for saying no. I fought hard. I fought hard with the dean. I fought hard with multiple boards, multiple people, multiple things. I fought hard with my family. Me and my faith went to bat a little bit, but I stood on business and it was the best thing for me in the decision. And I would not be who I was today had I stayed there.
Wow.
Like, and so I'll go back later in life. I will be a professor on somebody's campus.
Listen, my name is Dr. Deja. I'm like, I gotta get the PhD. I gotta finish it.
Yeah, and so I'll finish it later. But, and I still get to, and again, it was like, am I gonna not educate anymore? Am I not gonna? And no, I still get to educate now. And again, the
Look
way
at you
I
right
want
now.
to.
Like,
yeah,
literally.
like I get to educate the way that I want to, and I'm redefining how people learn and, you know, like walk through life and evolve and how I can pour into them.
Yeah.
With more than just a box.
Sure.
Or that you're more than just a number. And so, yeah, my favorite no has been that.
2 more questions. Okay. Tell us in your world of things, because we've already kind of heard just the chaos of what your days can look like, or I would say the very organized chaos of what your days look like.
Beautiful chaos.
Tell us if you had any advice on working smarter and not harder. What would that look like for someone who's aspiring to do this work?
Be very, very honest with yourself. Be very honest with your flaws, be very honest with your strengths, and be very honest with being just okay with where you are and content with who you are right now.
Yeah.
All you can do is control who you are right now. And I say that because at some point you realize, like, I need to outsource, right? Like, I'm not a photographer. Can I take a picture on an iPhone? Yes.
Sure can.
Sure can. But I'm not a photographer. That's not my strong suit. So if I want to be efficient or move quicker and do things, like, I need to hire a photographer. That's not my strong suit. I am by no means the best editor. Editing's not my strong suit. So I need to hire an editor. And I can say that out loud. Guys, I'm bilingual. So sometimes I write like I talk. Sometimes things don't make sense. Sometimes I'm translating English into French, French into English. It's a hot mess. And so being honest and being like, can somebody please reread what I wrote in that email or in this caption or whatever? And so I think right now, if you are taking a leap of faith, doing whatever it is that you want to step into and like enjoy doing, be honest with who you are. And it's okay for it to change. It's okay for it to evolve. But like, who are you right now?
Yeah.
And like tap into that. And whatever you're not great at, it's okay if somebody else does it.
Love this. Okay. Last one.
Okay.
Tell me, in the same sentiment of working smarter, not harder, with everything that you have going on, how do you friend smarter and not harder? And before you answer, I'm going to say something. I think I'm going to get emotional. I feel myself getting emotional.
What?
Hold on.
Please.
Sorry.
I'm a crier, so don't do that. Okay.
I think, we have had quite has it been, it's a little over a year now.
We're April would be a year. Yeah.
And I've told you this many a times, like, I think you're a wonderful human being. I've never seen anyone operate at the capacity that you operate at. And I've had quite the journey over the last 365 days. And you came into my life and saw a lot of that and have, been a steadfast cheerleader and supporter. And I can't say thank you enough. But I also have just admired how you friend and how people in your realm of things also appreciate the way you friend and lean into you as well. So that's where the question comes from. I am holding back tears because I'm like, Shay. So, but tell me, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know if it's just the current season that I'm in and realizing that, like, I have capacity to love more, right? And I have capacity to give more. And I think I always say this and like laughingly and jokingly with friends, but like, right now in this season of life, I don't have my own children and I don't have a partner. Nothing is wrong with that. Okay? Nothing is wrong with that. However, that does allow me the time and the freedom and the space to kind of hone in on what I can tap into and not tap into, and how do I show up for various people. And I love to ask my friends questions and like, how can I serve you? How can I support you? Or just listen to them. And sometimes it's like, they cried on the phone for 45 minutes and I didn't have to say anything. They just needed somebody to listen. Yeah. I usually stop saying, how are you doing? And I say, how's your heart? I usually ask people on a scale from 1 to 10, where are you at? Me and my friend group have a rule. If it's under 5, somebody's pulling up on you. But if it's a 6, it's like, that was a day, right? And I there are affirmations that have gotten me through when I'm by myself that I think I have to pass down to my friends, because like a bad day doesn't mean a bad week. A bad day doesn't mean a bad season. A bad day does not mean a bad life. Sure. Or you have made it through 100% of your toughest days. Like if you stop and you think about it, you have made it through every single day of life. And so I think for me, it's, okay, what kind of friend do I need in all of my seasons, and how can I show up as her for other people? Yeah. And allowing myself to know that I'm evolving and growing, and so are they, right? In a certain season, my love language and the love that I need and the support that I need could just be words of affirmation. Yeah. In another season, it may be, friend, I just need you to come sit on this couch. I don't need you to do nothing. Yeah. You can watch me run around with my head cut off. Yeah. Just be in the room. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And in other seasons, it's like, transparently, I don't want to see none of y'all. Nothing's wrong. I don't want to see none of y'all. Or being very authentic and transparent about where I'm at. Like I recently got invited to a happy hour, and my initial gut was like, at 6 a.m. when I woke up, I was like, oh, I can't wait for happy hour with the girls. And 4:45 came around and happy hour was at 6, and I was like, whew.
Yeah. I know I said this
I know I said I was mad excited this morning. Her is excited. Yeah. She right now is not. Yeah. And so I remember like texting my friends and just being like, hi, I love you. I was super thrilled to see you. These are your options. Yeah. Right? Because I do understand that we all lead busy lives. Yeah. So I was like, I can show up. Yeah. I'm not my best self. Yeah. But if you need me to show up because you just want my presence around, know that I still have work, so I will be working your presence. So I'm not fully there. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Or we could just reschedule. You pick, because I already said yes and I signed up for it. Now, if it's a day that I'm like, nobody needs to see this version of me, then it's a no. For sure. But I think allowing me being honest with the version of myself that is present in the moment, and sharing that with my friends has allowed my friends to be just as open and transparent with their journeys with me. Absolutely. And so then I know how to show up. Yeah. And I do a lot of check-ins. Like I think I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. How can I help?
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, like, and people are like, what is going on? But like, how can I help? Oh, what do you have going on? Everybody, that like, if you live a life with people, which I do life with people, and I work with a lot of creators and a lot of their teams, and I'm passionate about all these things, is that I send myself voice memos or set 4,000 alarms because life is moving so fast. Like I literally would be like, hey, I hope the phones don't pick up in here, but I'm going to whisper, hey, Siri. How can I help? It's actually a man, and he's the English guy. But I was tired of the girl. She was getting on my nerves. But I'm like, set an alarm for 8 p.m. tonight to text so-and-so, like, or it's a birthday message, like, hey, Siri, it's so-and-so's birthday, don't forget. Or, hey, Siri, you set an hour. Like, it's literally just random thoughts and reminders, and an alarm will go off. And even it's for next day, but, like, there's so much happening in my life that I've signed up for, that I haven't signed up for, that I've anticipated, that I haven't anticipated. And I just am like, I still care and I still love you. Yeah. Or if I haven't popped in a group chat in a long time, I just will literally be like, hi, literally hanging on by a bobby pin, checking in. Are you guys alive? Yes. If not, sending you love. Like, or I don't want anything. I'm just saying, hi, miss you, love you, bye, let you know. Like, so I set alarms and reminders for myself to remove myself from chaos. Because as you know, in the creator space, we have busy seasons. Yes. Like, Q4 is a joke. Yeah. That's the best season I can explain. Yeah. But, like, during Q4, a lot of my friends now know to just check on me. Like, hey, are you alive? What do I need to send? Do I need to send a bottle of champ? Do you need to cry? Do we need to hop on a call? Whatever. But, like, I set reminders for myself, too. Like, okay, Deja was decorating this studio. And so, like, every couple of days, like, I'd be like, how's it going? Or I'd see on her story, and it's like, if you remember right then in the moment, I'd be like, looking great. Love that. Oh, you did say that. Your child started a new school. How's that going? Like, or just reminder. And so, like, as life moves, even if you have a planner or whatever, I think be the friend you wish you always had.
I love that.
And then you'll just operate as such. Yeah. And then as you evolve, the level of friend that you are will too, and capacity will look different, and that is okay.
Guys, if it's not apparent why I stand this human being right here, like, this conversation should totally unlock that for you. Tell the people where they can find you. And also, like, let's talk about what you offer. I don't think we talk about this enough, but you also help creators,
agencies.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Okay, you can find me at Shaymah.Ali on IG and TikTok. My email is in the bio, so you can email me there. I do offer a few services, whether you want to be an influencer assistant, then I already have a masterclass out that you can purchase on your own and work at your own speed with a workbook. If not, you can book calls with me. And so I have various calls. I have a call if you want to be an assistant, you want to be trained on how to do that. I have a call for you and your team, if you're a creator and your team, to just kind of get realigned and refigured out, how do we structure this thing? How do we figure out who has what jobs, roles, and titles? If you are a creator who's like, I need my first hire, what do I ask them to do? Please help. Because like, can I ask them to open my PR? Yes, you can. I do that. And then I also just do consulting calls. Like, I would love to pick your brain on this brief that I just got, or I literally have 25 projects. How do we knock this out? Or how do I show up as my brand to like help? And I will sit on the phone with you for an hour and we will
basically anything in the world of creativity. Like, call Shay. Listen,
I will be a set producer, creative director. I do all of it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just let me know.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming.
for having me.
We could talk for hours, y'all. So we're not going to do it to you. Well, I'm going to do it after dark. That was the idea that I got last time. They're like, we need a couch and we need comfy clothes and we need alcohol. I said, let's do it.
Espresso martinis.
A vibe. And like talk about the talls and the smalls.
Talk about the talls and the smalls. And the things.
All right, friends. All right, guys. That's it for this episode of Build to Brand. We are super excited to continue to bring you guys phenomenal guests. And I'm going to say again, thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
Appreciate you so very much.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.